stated times receive for their services a compensation which shall not be diminished during their continuance in office. Article 3, Section 2, and this addresses pretty much what I'm expressing to you. The judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States, and treaties made or which shall be made under their authority, to all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers and consuls, and to all cases of admiralty and maritime jurisdiction, to controversies to which the United States shall be a party, and to controversies between two or more states, between a state and the citizens of another state, between citizens of different states, between citizens of the same state claiming lands under grants of different states, and between a state or the citizens thereof and foreign states or citizens or subjects, in all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers and consuls, and those in which a state shall be a party, the Supreme Court shall have original jurisdiction. And in all other cases before mentioned, the Supreme Court shall have appellate jurisdiction, both as to law and fact, and such exceptions, and with such exceptions, and under such regulations as the Congress shall make. And the trial of all crimes, except in cases of impeachment, shall be by jury, and such trial shall be held in the state where the said crime shall have been committed. But when committed within any state, the trial shall be at such place or places as the Congress may by law have directed. And so you can see that this Constitution is set in place that issues between people of the same state or foreign states can be heard in the court. That means the issues of different states does not have to be someplace else. And that the treaty is part of this Constitution. It's operative here like anywhere else. Now, when you go to chapter 47, when we're talking about jurisdiction, if I was asking you about jurisdiction, so now we're concerning jurisdictions over person, subject matter, and territorial. So then that means you must know the territorial limitations of this empire that you're talking about, right? So if you're under the assumption that Morocco is only there, you just skew territorial jurisdiction. Because mentally, you're distancing yourself. That's the kingdom. You're in the empire. That's a tributary to the empire. So let's talk about this from another perspective to give some light in that to what I'm talking about. As an example, this letter from George Washington's papers. I'm going to go through this, and I'm not going to go through the whole letter. I'm just going to read a particular part of it. Let's go down to paragraph 5. No, paragraph 4. And this is a letter from George Washington to Muhammad ibn Abdullah, the Sultan of Morocco, and it's dated and addressed in the city of New York. Are we confused about that? City of New York. December the 1st, 1789. Let's just read paragraph 4. The encouragement which your majesty has been pleased generously to give to our commerce with your dominions, the punctuality with which you have caused the treaty with us to be observed, and the just and generous measures taken in the case of Captain Proctor make a deep impression on the United States and confirm their respect for, and their attachment to your Imperial Majesty. They're talking about territorial jurisdiction, subject matter jurisdiction, and personam jurisdiction, and that territory is here. Moorish dominions. But the concept in the mind of the people, when they just look at the Moroccan kingdom here, Kingdom of Morocco, they are separating themselves because they have not a knowledge of territorial jurisdiction. So now let's go to the Holy Quran, Circle 7, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, etc., chapter 47. I'm not going to read it all, but I just want to give you something to work with. Egypt, the capital empire of the dominion of Africa. The inhabitants of Africa are the descendants of the ancient Canaanites from the land of Canaan. Old man Cush and his family are the first inhabitants of Africa who came from the land of Canaan. His father Ham and his family were second. Then came the word Ethiopia, which means the demarcation line of the dominion of Amexem. So now you know this is Amexem and this is Amexem. You're not confused. And Ethiopia is the demarcation line. It means the land was divided. It's not the name of the land or the people. It's a demarcation line. So now you are understanding what? Territorial jurisdiction, where some thinks it's talking about pedigree. But if they don't know world history and geography and anthropology, they can be fooled. You see? So now let's look at this. So the word Ethiopia, which means the demarcation line of the dominion of Amexem, the first true and divine name of Africa. The dividing of the land between the Father and the Son. The dominion of Cush, northeast and southeast Africa, right? Northeast and southeast Africa, right? That's the dominion of Cush. And northwest and southwest was his father's dominion of Africa. So they divided. So now let's look at the territorial jurisdictions. In later years, many of their brethren from Asia and the Holy Lands joined them. The Moabites from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit northwest Africa. So now they have this, and now the pharaohs, because Egypt is the capital empire, now the pharaohs have given them a allodial title to northwest Africa. Now let's look at this. And they were the founders and are the possessors of the present Moroccan Empire, with their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren who sojourned from the land of Canaan seeking new homes. Their dominion and inhabitants, now you see,